this is Jurgita with Magic Fun Crafts, and welcome to my stitchy life. So as you can see in front of me, I'm starting a new week with homework assignment for magical stitches and literature. So I have this is year 5 week 3, and there's something to do with Professor Umbridge. So out of 5 tasks, I already finished 2 for previous video, and this is we have to stitch color pink itself. Now that would be pink somewhere in the picture. So I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna start, and this is gonna be this lady dress. So I'm trying to get all different shades of pink for that, and this is what it looks before I'm kicking in. I have to do 200 stitches if I have a project, and if not, I do 400 as a penalty stitches. So I think for 2 last tasks I'm gonna have to do penalty stitches, but this is just needs 200, and that's what it looks like so far. And that's from a top that I did that picture, and this is the bottom. So can see the whole width of a picture. So there's like some guys in there too. So let's start. I finished my required 200 stitches. Actually I did like 211 or something. So what you can see is all of this light pink color with the leftover thread, a little bit here, and already sent out a picture update for that. It doesn't look like a lot, but it is over 200 full stitches. So so I finished all the possible ones that I can use, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do now for my penalty stitches. And for penalty stitches, since I have to give a report picture every week, is this witch. I think it's called September witch. That I'm doing the first stitching of, and that's where I'm gonna be starting as. So you can tell that's by the hand that it's the hand. It's all without the back stitching still, so it's just the hand and this side of her body. It's not fully out through because I had to use some specific color for my another requirement. So right now I still have only the top portion, and when I'm finished with that I'll get the bottom portion and then the back stitching, I think. So that's what I'm gonna be grabbing on next, and I have to do 400 stitches. So let's get to work. And well, it's already 20th. Where does the time go? I spend a lot of time in the stitching. And let's see what I did. So I worked actually several days on this, and also in between I did another one that I have to give weekly pictures. So let's see how much I've done with my witch. And ta-da! So you can kind of see that before it was just this corner, and now we have rest of her bodice. Here is done with the like, what's it, like a turtleneck necklace area, her face, and even most of her hat is done. Just kind of the tip is left of the hat here, and like tip in here. So I think the next time I'm just gonna finish off the hat and go this way and get her other arm done, because if you remember, I have like a this way pattern. So once I'm done, I'll get the bottom portion, and then will be back stitch, which not a lot of work. It's mostly probably gonna be in here, and all those leaves here and there, and these little leaves is gonna be what looks like a stray stitches or some kind of like that. So we'll see what once I get the pattern portion for that. But I'm very happy. The colors really are very nice and bright, and there's quite a few blends again was in the leaves, but once I get the back stitching thing for a face, I think it's gonna look much different. So I'm very curious to see how that's gonna work out. Still blends kind of make it look like uneven crosses, but it's all good. It's all good. So that's what I did, and I'll show you what I did for a few days while I took a break stitching her. So that's Niuxl. Actually, I tried to do Google Translate, what it translates, and there was no translation even for this guy. But it's a magical creature. So, so let's see how much I've done for this one. And as you can see, I kind of, you can see a little bit of a scarf that goes around like those colors. And I finished all of the regular stitching all the way up to like here where he sits on the a suitcase, or what is this, like without the feet, because I don't have bottom portion also. This is again for first stitch of the pattern, and you can tell where his arm goes in here. So that was like a page break, so kind of went into, and yeah, so portion of as a background was half stitch, so that kind of went a bit faster. And there's all kinds of color mixes in here again, and so far it looks very interesting. Of course, the back stitching is gonna add some, you're gonna have some like a white ones. So yeah, and we'll continue to do for the next week. Need to just post the pictures for this because we have to do weekly photos. And again, I have to finish both of them fully by September 1st. So just over a month left. So this guy has a little bit less stitch count than my witch, but still want to finish both of them a little bit even before September 1st. So that might be my project to concentrate again for maybe sometimes can do more in 1 week than other one. So yeah, have not decided if I really want it on this fabric, but now I think it's gonna look cool because all those unfinished spots is gonna be where snowflakes go, and this is sort of like a snowflake too falling down. So that's what my Niuxl is. And then we'll see what I'm gonna grab next, because another homework is gonna pop out, and we'll see what is gonna be a requirement for that week's assignment. Now, while I was waiting for Monday to kick in, since it was a weekend, I decided to stitch extra credit for July, August, School of Magical Stitches. And first assignment was to stitch 500 stitches for my largest whip in my list for Grob. And so I looked at the stitch count, and my beloved is what was the biggest stitch count, plus it's my biggest size is gonna be as a finish, because I'm doing this on 14 count. So since I'm doing this in a half stitch, I had to do at least 1,000 half stitches, and I finished before I had to do my homework for school. So ta-da, as you can see, I finished my page, and a little bit went even below to get that 1,000 stitches. So overall, I'm actually finished with my very first row. So that's what it looks like, the whole first row. So I'm very excited. My tapestry size is done, but it's only here, and there's quite a few more rows to do after this, but it's still exciting. I didn't think I would finish by the end of the year, although it was my hope to finish at least one full page for all of my BAPS giant projects. And that's what I done. But yeah, my beloved is right now done like this, and it's meant to be looking from far away, not very up close, but that's what it is. And now I'm gonna look what I have to do for my this week's homework. So the homework was is the tension to stitch like something on the words, 1,000 stitches on the words themselves, or there was an option to stitch like a 1,000 of just blue or just black stitches to choose. So what a coincidence it was that I actually had this area to stitch, and there's a lot of black in that. And today is, by the way, the 24th, the Wednesday, and over the last, let's see, 4 days, I work heavily on this one. This also is on my Heaven and Nerd Designs challenge to do 10,000 stitches by like a Christmas Eve. So that kind of worked out, and this also worked for my year-long extra credit stitching for School of Magical Stitches. And I picked that as like a secret passages to Hogsmeade, because for one, the phone booth itself from Doctor Who inside is much more different. Plenty of rooms that they don't usually show, but there's all kinds of things that's hiding in there, and it travels to places where it's like a secret door. You never know where it's gonna pop out. So that's what I used it, and also used it for this week's homework to stitch on black stitches. And I'm very happy to say that I pretty much finished my page. So let's see. Ta-da! And the page line is like here, so I'm practically done. If I would count like those extra stitches here, I could practically fill in this. So this line also marks about half of my whole project, a whole pattern. As you can see, it kind of goes a little bit underneath my Q-snap, but made like 2,000 stitches. Whew. Lost several hours of sleep, but I did it. So the page was from let's see, from around here, from this part, like what's that, like 80. So that's what the page looks like, and I'm finished in. So since I had to stitch only on black, that's why you see those dots. That's where different color is gonna go in. And this is again 18 count, and I'm stitching 201 an Ada. And it's a little bit tough a fabric. I don't think I washed it before I did, but it's done. And then it's gonna be not the full page to do, and I'll be done with the first half of the whole thing. I didn't have to use cryining here yet, because that's where majority of the brightness comes, is cryining, shiny thread. So yeah, so it's going to be quite a bit of a darkness in this portion, and then again it's going to be bright lights and some more colors happening. So I'm stitching this for my husband. He's a big giant Doctor Who fan, and his sister also loves Doctor Who. So yeah, so I'm excited to work on this. Maybe I can finish this next year, by the end of next year, who knows, if I go with the same speed. And those challenges sure help me do that. So I'm gonna set this aside now and rest and do more other things that for either extra stitching or year-long stitching. I don't know, we'll see. So let's see what's gonna 1960s, I believe.
That is at 1900s.
Whee!
Oh, by the way, if they hit a foul ball and a spectator catches it,
It's an out.
they're out.
Huh, interesting.
In 1860 rules, if they had caught that on the bound, the batter would have been out. That's the concession not playing football.
That's what I said.
Bases are not staked out yet.
Oh, there is the cowbell.
They're safe. 2 hands down. Okay, so if he was
2 hands down.
the batter would have been out. That would have been the third out.
Okay.
If you catch it on the fly, it's a manly catch, and the batter's out.
You catch it with one hand?
Now, if you catch it on the fly,
That's a manly catch.
that's a manly
If you
catch.
catch it on one bounce, that's an out. It's not a manly catch.
Did he say manly catch? Yeah, it really.
What would you say? A gentlemanly?
Yes, that would
Okay,
be.
gentlemanly would be better. Okay. But sometimes you rob a hit, and that's not very gentlemanly.
That's not a foul ball, barehanded. It's definitely a manly catch.
Well, July is over, so I'm showing you what I've done in that past week since last section of filming. So as you can see, this is a September witch, and I'm practically fully done stitching all the stitches on her top, except like where her hand is gonna be. That's like all that's left, and of course the back stitching. I sent an update photo to the designer since I have to show updates once a week, and I got the bottom part all a pattern to do. So I'm gonna continue this upcoming week then with the bottom part. Gonna probably finish the hand and go from the waist slowly down. I don't know which side, but you're gonna see. So far it looks I think very good. And backstitch will show off her face more and all the other details that you can see. You can kind of sort of start seeing the face features, although in the stitching part it looks like she's a little Mongolian to me, you know, I don't know. So anyway, so that's what my September witch looks like. And after that I again picked up Niuxl, which is another designer's first stitching, and I'll show you in a second. So just like a September witch, I used these two for extra credit stitching, and I finished both of them. So you see I'm practically halfway done also. No back stitching yet, and the only thing left on the top part is finish the wand with the light coming out of this guy, and there's going to be a little bit back stitching done. And his scarf, it goes all the way down to the bottom. And also just received bottom part, second part of the stitching. No back stitching pattern yet, so it's gonna be just those trunks in there. I used it for Moody's trunk, secret trunk, with this pattern, and that's what it looks like as of now. Even without back stitching, I think it looks amazing. So after that, I picked up to do also some of the assignments with my space traveler. And as you can see, I moved my Q snaps down, so I decided to continue all the way down to where my half of the pattern will be fully done. And after I finished all of the blacks that I needed for a homework before, I just continued for my outrageous headmistress thing. So just went out and started doing more waves, and that's where the bottom is gonna be. And that's what practically half of all of left to do. So maybe another couple homework parts and I might be done with this if I can use it for it. But it looks so far so good. Love it. It's Heaven and Earth Designs again. So that's what I've managed to do at the end of July. So I think I did well. I'm happy with how much I've managed to do, and that's it. Also, I keep forgetting before to finish filming is something I received that I'm planning to do, like a giveaways for different groups or on this channel, and this is the box I received. You can see the height of the box. I received different little pamphlets and magazines, like different types of For the Love of Cross Stitch, and you can see some Stony Creek Leisure Arts magazines, and I looked through some, and that's what I'm gonna be giving out. So still trying to figure out how to do it. I have like a pile sitting right here what I picked for myself to stitch, but this thing thinking of taking a lot to Needlework Galleria, which is gonna be in September, leaving on a freebie table. And if you have any ideas how the best to give out, because you know my shipping finances would not be limitless to send it all. I would hate to rip out all the pages of all those magazines, so I'd rather to give out a whole magazine. So if you have any ideas how it would be easier to do, like to show a bunch of magazines and little flyers, and then the winner would pick a couple of them or what on this channel. So I'll be waiting for your suggestions. And there's quite a few of different ones. There's a lot to see. There's the cat patterns and garden patterns and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the lady, a local lady from a Girl Scouts saw that I was stitching and said she received all kinds of stuff and she's trying to clean out her house. So I think with that I'll finish it. And happy August, everybody. The schools for me will start in a couple of weeks for kids, and we're gonna go back to the regular school routine with 3 different schools: college, middle school, and college, high school, and still elementary school. So it's gonna be a little bit different this year with the college kid. So anyway, this was Jurgita, and I'm saying until the next time, Ike.